Okay, take three. I'm so tired. I really shouldn't make videos when I'm this tired. Just a quick catch up of kind of what's been going on, how we're coping, surviving, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, the twins have been off school since this time last week, so we've had a full week. Well, not quite a full week in isolation because I worked last Saturday, which was like the last day. That I worked. So yeah, they went out with their nan a couple of hours last Saturday, but other than that, we've been in isolation pretty much ever since. I did run into a shop earlier today, but I literally like parked outside, ran in. Yeah, I left them in the car because I'm freaking out. Like my anxiety levels of like corona. I'm like, no, not going there. If we can avoid anything whatsoever, we are just literally staying at home. And to be honest, I know like quite a lot of Sen mums have said that, and I don't know whether it's that we are just antisocial anyway, but in terms of like we always go out but we don't really see other people. That sounds awful. Like there's one or two people that we see, but in general, obviously they go to school, I go to work, but in terms of like our free time, like weekends, school holidays and things, it's the three of us the majority of the time anyway. So other than the fact that we're staring at the same four walls, we're kind of coping. I mean, like Jaden obviously is, I'd say overall he's happier. I wouldn't say he's calmer, but he's happier, if that makes sense. He's more like up and down than he normally is, but not being at school, I would say in general he is happier this week than he is when he's at school. And even Ella, I think school just makes her really, really tired still, so she's, yeah, her behaviour's actually been a lot better than I was anticipating. The first thing, like my first thought was like, it's going to be horrendous, we're going to be arguing every 2 seconds, but no, she's actually been pretty good. I'm really proud. They don't, I mean, well, they understand to an extent. Obviously they had chicken pox back over their birthday, so like end of February, and I think they think this like is gonna go like that was when they had chickenpox. We were stuck in the house literally like Tuesday to Saturday, and I think they kind of think that this is the same. Like obviously I explained to them, well, I just said like some people are poorly and that's why they can't go to school, and Jane keeps saying it over and over again, everything is like, is it because of the coronavirus? Like, oh my god, everything. Like he heard a lot about it at school, people dying and things, and I try not to, obviously, because he gets so fixated, obsessive about things. I try not to make anything into too big of a deal, but literally anything I say, like, oh, Goss is shut, you can't go and get a toy. Oh my god, it's because of the coronavirus. We don't want to get coronavirus. I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, we managed to walk the dog. That's our one little bit of escape of the house each day. We just go for like a quick walk with the dog. Other than that, we are literally in the house. Thank god the weather's nice because they have been in the garden a lot. But yeah, we are just literally at home. Homeschooling is going fairly well. They're not always in the mood for it, but and it sounds awful, but I'm amazed at what they can do. Like I don't think, like obviously they don't do much homework, so yeah, like Ella sat there, like if I spell words out for her, she's like writing entire sentences and things, and I'm just like mind blown. Like yeah, it's crazy. Or like I don't know, maybe I'm not that great a mum. I didn't have a clue that she was like so good. And Jade can he'll say every letter. He can't really sound words together, if that makes sense, but he'll say, if it's a word that he knows, like on his flashcards and things, then he'll just say the word because he's more like just memorized them. But yeah, he doesn't really put the sounds together yet, but he'll go along and he'll say every letter. He's trying to do more, I don't know what they're called, you know, like where there's dots of, they do like shapes and things for them to follow. He's trying to do things like that. He can almost do a J, which that was one of his, I did quite an emotional video a while ago because that was one of his big targets, even for like the end of the, I was about to say financial year, the end of the academic year, which obviously we're still a way off, was to be able to write a J, and he can do something already that vaguely resembles the J, and it's deliberate, you know, it's not just a, oh my god, there's a, he will say that he's written his name. I've lost my train of thought, what was I going to say? Yeah, so he's doing the ones where you follow the dots, follow the, but what happens is he gets, like a lot of things, he gets very frustrated with himself. So I don't even know where this comes from, because I can't imagine, I hope the teachers at this age aren't giving him big fat crosses. He'll start doing the follow and I'm like, wow, you're doing really well, and then if he comes off the line a bit, he's like, I can't do it, I'm rubbish, and he'll start putting big crosses on the page. I'm like, it's fine, you just carry on, start again, whatever, but you don't need to get so emotional. But that's just Jade, and obviously I did that video recently on get the words right, rejection sensitive, just I can't even say that word, and obviously that a lot of it comes under that kind of thing. So we have had a lot of that this week, where I was trying to do a workout earlier and I just kind of said, can you just move out the way a little bit, darling, so maybe we can do this. It was like a club size dance workout thing that me and Ella were trying to do, and that was it. He went off screaming and crying, kicking the door, and I left him for like almost 20 minutes, and I was like, how it's that awkward thing, isn't it, of like, there's nothing really that much I can do to comfort him, but do I, don't I, do you leave them to cry it out? You know, he's not a baby, but you know what I mean. The dog gets quite, the dog will go to him when he's like that, but the dog's almost too, because then the dog will start jumping at him, and obviously that makes him more distressed. Jaden will throw himself on the floor, and it all gets a bit, so, but what I tend to do, I tend to get the dog, I put the dog on my lap, and then I get Jade's hand, and I say, you know, we need to calm Hugo down, because Hugo's got upset now, and we'll stroke the dog together, and we'll talk to the dog calmly, and it does seem to help to bring him back down from that, because it kind of, if nothing else, distracts him from that. It's not internalizing, it's everything's my fault, everything's my... Oh, and the other thing was he dropped a glass this morning, like a drinking glass, and I was amazed. I wasn't in the kitchen. What were we doing? Oh, we were getting our shoes on, ready to go out, and he was in the kitchen having a bit of his drink, and he dropped this glass, and it just shattered all over. I mean, thank God he wasn't hurt, but it shattered all over the kitchen floor. So that was a good... I mean, he's brought it up. He was quite distressed for about half an hour after it happened, because it was just before we went shopping. Yeah, he's quite distressed for about half an hour. I was like, it's fine, you're not in trouble. And he's kept bringing it up like through the day, saying, but it's so awful, it was all my fault. I threw the glass and it smashed, which I genuinely I can't imagine that he did, because there wasn't any reason for him to. He wasn't distressed or anything else, but yeah, maybe he won't be having a glass for a while. I think it just literally like slipped through his hand, but yeah, he'll bring it up. Everything's my fault, everything's awful, I need to leave. There's a lot of that still. But on the whole, when there's not, he's happy. Yeah, so he's more erratic, maybe is the word, than he would normally be. And there's a lot more meltdowns than we'd normally, like, multiple times a day rather than kind of like once a day. But overall, when he's happy, he's happier, if that makes sense. So yeah, it just goes to show, as much as we think he's coping at school, like it is huge stress to both of them, because Ella still gets so tired from school and stuff as well. But I'm surprised how well I'm coping, because yeah, I found it a lot easier than I thought I would. We're just doing literally a day at a time, getting through the days, getting through the schoolwork. But yeah, mentally I am finding it easier than I thought I would, and it's not so much the isolation, because like I said, I'm used to it just being the three of us, but I'm not used to it being the three of us every second of every day, because obviously they go to school, I go to work, we have that bit of time to ourselves. But yeah, so far they're getting on pretty well. There's not been too much arguing or anything. It's just, yeah, plodding on, because obviously we've got no idea really how long this is going to go on for, and I think they kind of almost think next week we'll be back to school, and they're making plans and saying, like, when this is over, then we can have all our friends over and have a sleepover, we'll have a party, we'll do this. Like, yes, but we don't know. It could be weeks away, hopefully not months, but it could be weeks away. But obviously we're just hoping and praying that, I say everybody we know, that sounds awful, but hoping and praying that this hurries up and goes away. Jada keeps saying, will the people be going to heaven and all those kind of things. Like, it's so difficult, because you don't want to... I am a very open parent. Like, I like to talk about things to an extent. I don't like to just sugarcoat things and straight lie to them, but at the same time, because he gets so fixated on things, and whereas so much, obviously the last thing I want to be saying is potentially anybody could die, you know, somebody in the family could die, or, you know, if he gets anything like that in his head, then he'll never, you know, he'll become like so fixated on it. So yeah, hopefully, it's a crazy world at the minute, but hopefully this all passes soon and we can get back to some kind of normality. Obviously my biggest fear at the moment is, if they don't go back to school in September, what the hell do we do? Like, not in terms of like we can cope till then, but it's going to be such a huge transition jump for any of the reception kids to be going into year one, but for Jaden, like, I'm terrified about him going into year one anyway. So if it's that kind of like he's missed a good chunk of reception and then he has to go into year one, that's you know, I potentially, if I could do it, I'd keep him at home. But obviously, in terms of social side, all those kind of things, communication and everything else, like, he needs to be at school, and so long as he can cope, I still think there will come a time when I'll make that decision. You know, when he comes, I don't know, when he's like 10 or something, I could imagine myself taking him out. But yeah, for as long as he can be at school, I need to keep him at school, and I know that really. Yeah, so I'm very, very tired. It's probably a bit waffly, but yeah, we're alive, we're surviving, we're going to get through this.